And second in the Lucas Oil Late Model Series points several years ago. There's our Australia buddy, Kai Blight, first time here this weekend. He's going to start back in 8th in his heat race. We'll have 6 heat races. Top 3 will advance to the Sunoco North-South 100, and we'll have a couple of B-mains. The non-qualifiers race, by the way, will be last tonight after the main event. We'll have the only thing for the modifieds tonight is a main event, Bob.
We do have hot laps. That's the only other thing on the schedule. They got to get those hot laps in. That'll be coming right after this. But there you see Trevor Landrum, the 3-time and defending track champion here at Florence Speedway, had a very good run last night, James.
His dad, Steve Landrum, 6-time track champion. Only 2 drivers have ever won that, won the 6 titles. Landrum, Steve Landrum, and Troy Green.
Landrum last night, 10th in the first 25-lap A-main. This guy won the second 25-lapper. Jonathan Davenport, the #1 dirt late model driver in the country in the Nutrien Ag Solutions number 49. That's the car headed down the backstretch and to the infield right now. But how about this? Zach Dome, at least from that particular group, quickest so far in hot laps, 17.095 seconds over the local favorite, Trevor Landrum.
You just get a feeling with the way these heat races are that a guy like a Zach Dome, he might have a shot here tonight at 75,000. And I think his biggest win ever is 20,000. So we'll see what happens. But heat number 2, look at this Chris Madden, career year, the Dryden 44 car, Gray Court, South Carolina, over $700,000 in winnings so far this year, and he won this race in 2019 driving for Scott Bloomquist.
Yeah, about 14 wins this year for Chris Madden. He will start on the inside of the second row in Summit Racing Equipment Heat Race 2. There is a guy that loves this racetrack. Hudson O'Neal heading down into the corner right now. In the middle of 1 and 2, that Lazy Days RV machine for Roger Sellers. 4 wins so far this year on the Lucas Oil Tour for Hudson O'Neal out of Martinsville, Indiana. And Hudson O'Neal wants to do something that his dad did on 2 different occasions, and that's become a winner of the North-South 100. He told us on the pre-race the other day, he's told us throughout his years that this is one race that he has circled, that he wants to put on his resume.
26 different drivers have won this race since it started in 1983. Lot of things going on tonight. Bob and Bobby Pierce, the only father-son to win it. Could it be Hudson and Don? Could it be Devin and Donnie Moran was a winner here? And 8 out of the last 9, Bob, have had a different winner. Tim McCready's the only driver that's won twice during that time span.
How about Jimmy Owens, one of only 2 drivers to have won the North-South 100 on 3 different occasions. Jack Boggs, the other one. But Jimmy Owens, not exactly where he wanted to be, was consistently in the top 10. There is the North-South 100 win list. Jimmy Owens and Jack Boggs, those 3, and then several drivers with 2 apiece. Tim McCready, by the way, you mentioned the last 9 years, and 8 different winners in the last 9. McCready's the only one that has won twice in that span, and then 16 drivers with 1 win.
Yeah, Jack Boggs, he could get around this place very, very well in that B4 car, and Jimmy Owens could become the first 4-time winner. Again, back in the rocket chassis this weekend. Ramirez Motorsports.
Ricky Weiss to the top of the board, 16.667 seconds. Ricky Weiss, former winner, the only Canadian to have ever won the North-South 100. Very fast, that car that he's challenging right there in hot laps as the checkered flag flies. James Rice, trouble for him last night. Brand new race car, was running well. Had a flat tire in the feature event. Garrett Alberson in the number 58, 4th quick overall so far in dirt draft hot laps. James Rice, 5th quick, right behind the 58. But the man so far that is quickest early on, just 2 sessions of 6 so far, Ricky Weiss in the 7 car.
As I said earlier, talking to the fans, James Rice is going to start 9th in his heat race because of that DNF last night. Only a couple of cars had a DNF. His brother leading the points, Josh Rice, by 2 here over James. Josh starts on the outside of row 4, Bob. Outside of the front row in heat number 4, which means if he wins that race, he'll be on the front row tonight. If Josh gets in and James doesn't during a heat or B main, then James would be the provisional. So, we'll see how far. But you really can't risk it thinking, Josh is automatically going to make it because nothing is automatic here at Florence.
A lot of work on James Rice's car today. We'll talk about that. There is Spencer Hughes out of Mississippi. That kid in the 11 had a great run last night, was challenging for the lead for a good portion of that first 25 lap. A-Main wound up in the 5th spot, but this kid is getting more consistent. He's got a good starting spot in Simpson Race Products. Heat race number 3 on the outside of the front row. $55 cars in all. Joe Godsey, one of those guys that's going to be going in heat race number 3 tonight. The top 3 will transfer out of each of the 6 heat races. They will be 8 laps apiece. We will have a pair of B-mains transferring 2 more drivers out of each. So a lot of activity here tonight for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. And there we go, Semper Fi, baby. The number 29 of Larry Grube, K-Rob. Good-looking race car right here. But back to Larry Grube there.
Yeah, love it. Love that car. We love Larry Grube and his food. Olivia, yes.
Former
Thank you.
Full-time competitor in the Carolina Clash Series. We'll see what Larry Grube can do. Can he make his way in? It would be a victory in itself. And then I love this race car better than his primary. Trouble underneath the hood of his primary car. Chris Ferguson had to go to the backup. This has not run since the Eldora Million. And this is a car that has seen some great runs this season. We'll see how Chris Ferguson can do here tonight. 2 years ago, finished in 4th in the North-South 100.
Yeah, the last night, he ran into a burnt piston in his primary car. He was fastest qualifier on Thursday before the rain. Spencer Hughes right now fastest, 16.342. Ferguson ran 5th in the Eldora Million.
Hey, how about
second quickest right now?
Victor Lee?
Yes, Victor Lee.
Wow.
3-time Battle of the Bluegrass Dirt Car Series champion. Danny Hatcher owned car. Danny Hatcher, based in Campbellsville, Kentucky. Victor Lee, fastest qualifier in Group A here last night.
And 9th overall in that first feature event for Victor Lee, who won a modified race here last October. But the quickest car on the board so far, the 11 of Spencer Hughes, a time of 16.342 seconds. It's Hughes over Chris Ferguson, Ricky Weiss, K-Rob, and Victor Lee. Top 5, very fast car with that 6 once again.
Well, heat number 4 makes their way onto the racetrack for their hot lap session, led up by the 29. First time here at Florence out of Pataskala, Ohio. That is Clint Keenan. He'll be the first one out. Behind him will be the number 26. That'll be Jimmy Sharp Jr. out of Lyons, Georgia.
I think Clint Keenan might have missed the call, so he's on this group because he is in heat race number 3.
He was probably still listening to my speech or something and missed the call. I'm not sure what happened.
Hey, I think you might have set the record today for the longest speech, but it was well worth it.
How long did I go?
I think it was 45. An hour. No, it was over
an hour.
Yeah.
It was not an hour.
It was over an hour. Hour and 30 minutes, we're told. But it was well worth it, man. Listen.
No way.
Everybody cherishes all the stories that you have. What does Richie say? Hour and 15 minutes officially. There we go.
Well, at least Sanford Goddard, he'll be second now in the all-time.
Berkey's happy, though, because I think every time you said Brownstown, he maybe took a swig of that Busch Light.
Yes, I tried to get him to drive the pace truck tonight. Can you imagine Brian Burkhoff or the pace truck tonight? No, not going to happen.
Not so much.
He said, I'll see you and Bob at Knoxville. Can we put that guy on the air at Knoxville?
Let's do it.
Oh,
man,
my gosh.
I would love to have Berkey in the booth at Knoxville.
He's going to be there. Not to race, unfortunately, but he's going to be there.
Oh, by the way,
what a great! I mean, I am so honored and humbled. I mean,
yes.
Look at that. I mean, that's one of those guys were so emotional. I mean, you think I cry? You think I'm Dick Vermeil at the Football Hall of Fame, right, guys?
Oh,
holy cow!
Listen, Don O'Neill went in. Just
Bart Hartman.
Yeah, Bart Hartman was there. We mentioned Berkey.
Yeah. Mike Jewell.
Yep.
Scott
Boley.
Yep.
Steve Boley. Yeah, just that's such a great family, too. I've gotten a chance to spend some time with Steve and his family, Becky and everybody here today. And by the way, there's a guy that might be in the Florence Hall of Fame for sure someday, and that is Josh Rice. Last night, by the way, not exactly Josh Rice-esque. He had a very good run, was able to work his way up to 5th, but usually we see him battling for the win, and last night he found a bent spindle on that race car.
How about this for a scenario? If he wins Heat 4, that means he's going to start on the front row. Can we handle Josh Rice on the front row of the main event? It's still, you got McDowell, you've got Tyler Erb, you've got Devin Moran. Dalton Wilson, Cameron Marlin, Jason Miller.
Let's ask the crowd. Who wants to see Josh Rice start on the front row tonight for the North-South 100? Let us hear it.
Yeah. We need to do like we did at Deer Creek. We need somebody to come in and offer some money. Will you? Remember that? For those fans that don't know, what was it? Davenport and Madden was offered an additional what? How much was it? Was it $25,000? It was, wasn't it? If they decided to start 11th or 12th.
Yes.
And Madden took the challenge.
Yep.
And he was within a lap and a half of doing it. Man.
Bobby Pierce in the number 32. He was fun to watch last night in that first A-main. Finished in third, was up front early, faded, and then really found his groove on the outside. Surprise, surprise for that number 32. But that young kid, man, he is so much fun to watch here. Former winner of the North-South 100.
What if you had taken that challenge? What would have Angie said? Stephanie Madden says, no, I'm going to throw my flip-flop shoes at you if you do that again. His mama needs a new pair of shoes.
That's right.
Right? So you got Brandon Shepard's got a new baby.
Yep.
Ricky Thornton Jr.'s wife, I just talked to her. She's due in a few months. So,
Zach Dome's wife
pair of shoes.
is due Dirt Track World Championship weekend.
Oh, my. Dr. Carl Short to deliver the baby, right?
Oh, Ricky Thornton Jr., the Rookie of the Year last year in the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. He's had some good runs at Florence as well. This is his style of racetrack. But the difference between a 50-lapper and a 100-lapper at Florence is pretty big. And even Josh Rice knows that. There is Bobby Pierce, number 1 on the board. Fast time so far for Bobby Pierce during Dirt Draft Hot Laps. 16.286 seconds for Bobby Pierce, number 1 on the board so far.
Of course, he missed this race last year. He was still running the Summer Nationals, which he had it wrapped up. Had this one this year wrapped up, his 5th Summer Nationals. Didn't even have to run the last week. Came and ran with us at I-80. Loves Florence Speedway. And that is actually, as you guys know, Dave and Bob, that is where his dad met his mom.
Yeah.
Angie Teagarden and Bob Pierce right there.
I've said for years, and this comes from my dad, a family that races together, stays together. There is Corey Hedgecock in the number 23, the Southern Nationals champion this summer. I want to also bring another legend into our broadcast right now, Dave Argerbright. We've talked about how much we've missed him. Connor's done a great job, but we miss having Dave on the broadcast, so he's stepping up here tonight. And just FYI, because we got a new A1 today, rookie, Sean Stafford. He's on the spare right now, so we want to make sure that everybody has a chance to listen to Dave Argerbright. Good to see you, bud.
And
you forgot to hit the button.
It's my first race.
It's only been
my
how
first
long?
time.
It's your first
No, it's great to be here. This is about as close as they get to my house, the Lucas Series, up in Noblesville. So it was great to come down. I wanted to be here for James and your induction, and Bob Marcos, my buddy. Just it's great to be here. It's a great day for you, and I was glad to be a part of it.
We need to do the BC 39. That'll be close to your house. We need to do a late model race there.
Yeah.
We need to do a late model race at Kokomo.
Kokomo would be great. I love that place.
Come on down to Kokomo, right?
That's
Absolutely.
Right. Or Hobstadt or Lawrenceburg.
What about Paragon? Can we get Paragon in there?
Let's do it.
Indiana Late Model Speed Week.
What'd you think of our idea there for Indiana Late Model Speed Week?
Oh, it's great.
Circle City.
Let's do it.
Right,
are you going to, instead of just co-promoting between James and I, are we going to do a trio of promoters?
We will.
No, I'm out. So, let me make that perfectly clear.
Oh, there's Ross Robinson. What a story for Ross Robinson last night. Driver of that number 7 car had a great run in the first 25-lap A-Main, a 6th-place run. He and his wife, Amanda, they really needed that. A pair of racers coming onto the circuit this year as rookies. He's been down, he's been out, but, man, he had a little pep in his step this afternoon, certainly in that pit area.
How about Brandon Shepard? First time he's run this race since 2016 when he drove for Best Performance. First time the Rock Knaus car has run here since Josh Richards drove it in 2011. I think I said 2012 last night. 2011 for Shepard. Right now, second, 16.184 Overton. 16.042. Everybody talks about Brandon Overton. What's he got, 10 wins this year? He's having a down year. He won nearly $1 million.
It's 11.
11 wins. He won nearly $1 million last year, and the guy's run very well this year. Of course, he won at Deer Creek. That was a great race. And
Golden Isles, Volusia, Eldora.
Right.
Brandon Overton, 11 total wins this year.
The Gopher 50, that's what I'm. One of the best. You have the Eagle at Cedar Lake, but you've got the Gopher at Deer Creek.
That Gopher was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I did see the Eagle from Cedar Lake.
Yeah,
it's
awesome.
in Jonathan Davenport's hauler right now. By the way, JD reminded me he hasn't been home for like 37 days. So they're going home for a little while after this one before heading to Batesville.
Nice home track.
Yes,
and Lance and Darla Landers live down there, of course, and he's never won that race. How about that finish last year, Dave? Did you watch that?
Yes, I did.
They traded the lead four times on the last lap, he and Hudson O'Neal.
Yep, that was a thriller.
That was a thriller. I worked that by was I by myself? Oh, you were going to an ARCA race.
I was at an ARCA race. Yeah. I was watching on the stream, and we thank you to everybody who's watching through MAV TV on FloRacing. But I want to get your perspective. You did a lot of these North-South 100s. Certainly not as many as James. I think he's missed, one or two of them? Am I correct, James? Or have you been to all the North-South?
No, not to all of them. No.
Okay.
No, sir.
He's missed a couple. But you've been around and you've seen the importance of this race in the world of dirt late model racing. How would you characterize that?
Well, it's just been a steady rise, really, Bob. I remember, I have so many memories here. I remember Don O'Neill leading a bunch of this race and Jimmy Mars passing him like on the last corner. It was just one of the most crushing moments for a racer that I've ever experienced. Poor Don, after leading and a race that he wanted so much to win and to have it slip away like that. That was very memorable. But that's what, big events are about. You put it all out there, and, when you fall short, boy, that sticks with you for a long time.
And this is one of the crown jewels of dirt late model racing. It's so important. Everybody loves and, just really enjoys running this racetrack. Enjoys seeing the Dirt Late Model Hall of Fame, and the atmosphere around this place is unlike any other.
It is, and I remember those earlier years, but especially in the last few years, there's just, like a standing room only crowd. And when you have that many people in here, it just has this energy of a big event. You just feel it, and it's one of those events that when it's over with, you're immediately thinking, wow, it's a whole year before we get to do this again, And it's come a long way in terms of really, truly being a premier event. And hats off to the King family and everything they've done to build this up. And it was just, for me, it was just an honor to be part of it for all those years.
And I know you've been missing things with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, and we can tell, James, because we're always getting the text on how the broadcast is. And
Dave, you're still 0 for 24 this year.
Yeah, my picks have gone downhill, man.
Hey, we got to actually head over to Carl, who's got the call here. Modified hot laps now on the racetrack, Carl.
But everybody's already qualified for tonight's main event, so we'll hot lap, and then just a little bit later, we'll see our drivers for their 30-lap main event. Here's Trent Green in the number 14, heading down the back straightaway. Multiple feature winner here this year. Blake Brown in the number 99, showing lots of speed here at Florence this weekend. Checkered flag flies here in group number 1. So we got 29 cars qualified for tonight's 30-lap main event. There you just saw the first 10. Would like to go ahead and update everybody on our driver from last night, the C14 of Corey Hedrenberg. Believe it or not, everything is good. He is okay. He is actually back here at the racetrack with us tonight. Obviously, he's not racing. He's a little beat up, a little sore, a little bit of pain, but nothing broken, and released from the hospital. And it's just great to have Corey back with us here tonight.
Carl, can you hear me? Can you hear me,
sir.
Carl? Talk about the finish last night.
Well, it was definitely the closest finish in Florence Speedway history. It might even be the closest finish in modified racing history. It was Ethan Dotson and Adam Stricker, and the gap was .00003. 0.3 of a second.
Wow.
Ethan Dotson in the 00, your winner last night.
And Bob, and we understand that Steve Arpin owns the 00, right? The Lowenbro, the Longhorn.
Yes, yep.
The Longhorn.
That they took
House
first place
car.
money, which was 1,000, and second place, and they added it together and they split it. Is
Yes,
that right?
that's
Okay.
right. Yep. And the best part is this is Ethan's first race in an actual UMP car. He's an IMSA specialist.
And he won the race without a drive shaft.
The drive shaft got ejected when he used the concrete wall to project him to the victory. What a run it was. I mean, he hammered down. It was going to win it or wear it. He put her on the fence there, and 3 never lifted until he got to literally the gap here, the concrete wall, and
So he was Fred Flintstone.
Dude, it was
right?
happening.
Right? There you go.
It was
There you
happening
go.
for sure. Very exciting last night. All right, as hot laps continue here, our second group of our 29 cars that are locked in tonight. The 13 there, that's Jason Whitaker. There's the 44. That's Jeff Parsons in the 44. And Billy Green, the number 49, one of our young talents here at the Florence Speedway. Billy Green rolling up on the high side there at 3 and 4. Checkered flag flying here on group number 2. We started with 63 cars. We're down to 28 plus a provisional. So our 28 cars that qualified into last night's main event. And 1 track provisional, that'll be Nick Snell. He's our highest points position in our modified points and with perfect attendance. So he'll take the provisional tonight to become the 29th starter. All right, should be our final group of modifieds on the racetrack now. Here in the front straightaway, that's Brad Wick, Bridgetown, Ohio, the number 32. Behind him, the Green family continues. That's Colin Green in the 52 Green and the 52G from Walton, Kentucky. There's Braden Berry from West Portsmouth, Ohio, there in the 75B. And here's your current modified points leader, but he qualified for the show, so that's actually opened up the provisional for Snell. That's the 11 of Pete Holt. Ryan Thomas here in the orange, number T9. Ready for a couple laps to shake them down. Once again, no heat races for your modifieds tonight. Everybody is locked into the main event. You'll see them for hot laps. Then we're going to have late model heat races, late model B mains. Then we'll get our 30-lap modified feature. So ready to go green here on our 3rd and final set of hot laps. Opening ceremony is on the way, and then we'll get into our late model heat races. Brian Thomas on the loud pedal. Down the front straightaway in the T9. Brian Thomas with a good weekend so far. Ryan Thomas, he'll fire from the inside of row number 2. Been a tough weekend for that driver right there, the blue number 25 of Tyler Nicely. He had to race his way in through one of our B mains last night. There's Pete holding that 11H. So it's going to be a doozy once we get to it. 30-lap modified main event. Ethan Dotson from Bakersfield, California, and Adam Stricker from Batavia, Ohio. That's going to be your front row. We'll have Ryan Thomas and Brandon Green in row 2. Then it'll be Cole Falloway and Blake Brown in row number 3. That'll be the first 3 rows of your modified main event. That'll be up after your late model heats and late model B mains. Race fans, don't forget, if you want to become a late model racer, well, you could win yourself a rocket. If you head down over towards the towards Vendors Row, there's an area down where you can get a ticket. $10 is all it takes to get a ticket, and you could win a rocket. Yes, a dirt late model. So make sure you go down and check that out when you're down in Vendors Row. Don't forget, hit your concession stands. We got ice cream and funnel cakes. Don't forget a full-service bar on the backstretch. So if you want a little bit more than a beer, well, we got you covered. It's on the back straightaway. So not far away from getting things rolling here at the Sunoco Race Fuels North-South 100. We'll have our opening ceremony shortly, and then we'll have our late model heat races.
Whether you're in the grandstands right now or if you're watching through MAV TV on FloRacing, you can participate with Dirt Late Model fans across the country. Go to dirtdraft.com/Lucas Oil and play in the Fantasy Dirt Late Model League. New subscribers tonight will win a free t-shirt. And if you can see the screen through MAV TV on Flo, you see it's a pretty darn good-looking t-shirt designed by Arizona Sports Shirts. And it's a lot of fun. I know a lot of people that participate in that all the time. The Lucas Oil Series has its own little mini circuit within Dirt Draft. You have $100,000 in fantasy money, and that's your salary cap. Each driver rated at a different dollar amount, and you have to put together a team of 5 drivers. You can't go a penny over $100,000. So you can't just have like your Chris Maddens and your Hudson O'Neills